January 30th, 1945. The Baltic Sea is frozen. A massive ship is sinking in the darkness. On board, over 10,000 people. In just 62 minutes, nearly 9,400 of them will die. This single shipwreck claimed 6 times more lives than the sinking of the Titanic, yet almost no one has ever heard of it. This is the story of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff, the deadliest maritime disaster in human history. In 1937, Nazi Germany launched a beautiful cruise ship named Wilhelm Gustloff. It was part of the Strength Through Joy program, a propaganda project to give ordinary German workers luxurious vacations. The ship was a floating paradise, swimming pools, cinemas, spacious cabins, and sun decks. For several years, thousands of Germans enjoyed peaceful cruises to Norway and Italy. But everything changed in 1939 when World War II began. The Gustloff was converted into a hospital ship, then a floating barracks for submarine trainees. By early 1945, she was docked in Gottenhafen, modern-day Gdynia, Poland. By January 1945, the Red Army had launched a massive offensive into East Prussia. Stories of terrible atrocities spread like wildfire among the German civilian population. Millions of terrified refugees fled west toward the Baltic coast. In the port of Gottenhafen, desperate crowds fought to board any ship that could take them away from the approaching Soviet forces. The Wilhelm Gustloff was never designed to carry more than 2,000 people, but on January 30th, over 10,582 people were crammed aboard: civilians, women, children, wounded soldiers, and 1,000 submarine trainees. The ship was dangerously overloaded. Many passengers had to stand on the freezing decks. The temperature outside was -18 degrees Celsius. At 21:08, a Soviet submarine S-13, commanded by Captain Alexander Marinesko, was stalking the Gustloff. Marinesko fired 3 torpedoes. The first struck the bow, the second hit the middle of the ship, the third destroyed the engine room. The lights went out instantly. Water rushed in. Within minutes, the ship began listing heavily to port. Chaos erupted. Many lifeboats were frozen solid and could not be lowered. Others were crushed by panicked crowds. People jumped into the ice-cold water, where most died within minutes from hypothermia. Mothers lost their children in the darkness. Children screamed for their parents. The screams could be heard for miles across the freezing sea. Just 62 minutes after the first torpedo hit, the Wilhelm Gustloff disappeared beneath the waves, taking almost 9,400 souls with her. Only about 1,200 people survived. Compared to the Titanic, the Gustloff sinking received almost no attention. Why? The Titanic had rich and famous passengers and was turned into a legend by Hollywood. The Gustloff was a tragedy of war refugees, a story that was inconvenient for both sides. In the Soviet Union, Captain Marinesko was first punished, then later declared a hero. In Germany, the suffering of East Prussian refugees was a painful topic for decades. As a result, the single deadliest ship disaster in history was almost completely erased from collective memory. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff is not just a maritime tragedy, it is a horrifying reminder of how brutal war is, and how quickly thousands of innocent lives can be lost in complete darkness. If you want to hear more forgotten stories from the ocean, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In the comments, tell me, which shipwreck should we cover next? See you in the next video.